The number of docks destroyed in the Okanagan flood of 2017 is staggering, and it doesn't take long to confirm that on a boat ride with the CEO of Burton Marine Pile Driving. Colin Dunlop's company is one of those cleared by the Central Okanagan Emergency Operations Center to clean up this mess. On this day, it appears at least every second dock has been ruined by the record high waters of May and June.
Started with the public. The guys are moving into the clean up private land now. See these guys out here. That's sort of the sort of lead team. They're going out and picking out pieces that they can either drag out or find them where there's a bunch that needs to be cleaned up. Then directing the barges in to do the pickup. On the cleanup side right now, there's these two barges that are running with the crew that's sort of fronting for them. That's part of the OEC team. I think probably actually us, and I would assume actually all dock construction building companies right now, part of building docks is removing the old ones. Everybody in the lake is helping out at this point, sort of trying to clean up what they can and where they are. We just happen to be part of the OEC team right now doing that stuff.
Which docks got thrashed appears to be completely random and not dependent on where they were located or when and how they were constructed.
Just amazing what we see out here. It's the oldest structures sometimes which you assume we're going to get taken out in the first week. We come back and they're still standing, yet docks that have been made of concrete and steel that we wouldn't have expected in a million years to get damaged or missing or completely broken piles. So it's just been an unusual year. Nothing has been consistent or predictable. Of course, anywhere we can reuse the piles, we definitely try and do that. The front walkway coming out, I'd say that's probably got a repairable section to it. It might not look quite as nice as it did when it originally went in. You can even see how that one pile is lifted compared to the rest. So you can block stuff like that up, repair it. Like I say, it just doesn't look quite as pretty as it did when it first went in. But these end sections here where it's strapped together, that's probably not a repairable piece. There's been just your simple decks getting taken off or removing just basically the top of the docks. Separation sometimes between piles and the substructure underneath, and everything from piles either lifting out or breaking off, just depending on what kind of forces were applied to them.
Even putting barrels filled with water on the docks during the high waters didn't necessarily help.
The water level got up so high that a lot of the volume of it was put into those containers became part of the lake, so their actual weight really got quite reduced the higher the water got up, so there wasn't as much weight put on the docks as it would be obviously if the water was below the top of the docks. People tried to sandbag the docks, but of course that just washed the sand out and it didn't seem to hold because it was such a long period that they were underwater. So there wasn't really one good fix that we could say worked 100% of the time that every dock that did this made it. So happy to see at least one of the docks that I built still, each bay, okay, there's something that I built out there still standing. It is completely random, but yeah, for sure. Oh man, okay, that one built it, I built it, it's still there. So yeah, it feels good when you see those ones.
The company has 2 barges working alongside other companies to get a handle on the big job, which the company expects to last throughout the entire summer.
A bit of a combination between our crew and working with Diving Dynamics. They're one of the crews that are out here. So it's been a bit of a team effort putting the crews together between both companies. So on site, normally have about sort of 7 guys that are out doing the pickup, and then depending on what's happening, we'll have another couple guys over in the yard once it gets dropped off over to the log dump, managing the piles over there. The government, they've really stepped up in this case. They're trying to put a team together for the removals. They've given ourselves it's called like a blanket repair Section 11, so that we can go in and do repairs on docks without having to apply. It's just a blanket application they gave to the dock construction company. If the homeowner's going to do his own repairs, he'll have to go through the process. That's one of the advantages of sort of going through us for the repairs is we're covered on it. The owners, if anybody's replacing their dock, of course, that's going to have to go through the full approval system. Back in January this year, the government streamlined, and they've been working actually really quite diligent to try and streamline the process for dock applications. And they also are very aware of what's occurred here, so we're hoping that the system should move a lot faster than we've had it in previous years.
These companies have already lost 2 months' work of dock building this season and are now tied up in cleanup. That has delayed the construction already on the books and means there will be a whole lot of work for the foreseeable future.
Definitely a challenge of trying to manage through this year. It's throwing a monkey wrench into scheduling for sure for what dock construction was supposed to take place. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of construction coming up in the next couple of years. It's just a challenge to meet everybody's requirements, trying to get their docks back as soon as possible.
For those replacing their docks, the big question becomes, do they build them higher to accommodate floods of this magnitude? After all, droughts are more likely than floods, and lakefront homeowners likely don't want to dock too high off the water in the lean years.
Obviously, everybody's asking that. Maybe next time I want my dock in higher, but there's going to obviously be that part of the season where the lake drops down to its normal levels, and we're going to see quite a few more higher docks than we have in the past. And if we could predict that we're going to see this again, we'd probably adjust what we're doing, but assuming that this is a one-off season, that hopefully we don't see the same occurrence, in the next 200 years again. This is really quite an unusual event. I've actually born, raised, and grown up in Kelowna, and I've never seen water really spilling over the top of docks, and certainly never seen docks 2 feet, 3 feet underwater like they were this year.